I read the news today, oh boy, about a lucky man who made the trades. And though the news made me rather mad, well, I just had to laugh. I was going to blow my mind out in the car when Brian said,
Oh, darling, please believe me. I'll never do you no harm. Believe me when I tell you. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Yeah, there will be an answer. Let it be.
and that's when I realized I get by with a little help from my friends. I get high with a little help from my friends. I get drunk with a little help from my friends. A little help from my friends. Gags just won the league, and Brian, get me a beer.
That's right, boys. The songs are back, and Detling's writing them.
That's right. And they're going to be as creative as ever, and they're probably going to win Emmys. Or what is it? Grammys?
Grammys. Yeah.
Ah, screw win everything. Well, we'll win the whole damn thing.
Except for our league.
Except for, yeah, now we're not going to win our league. Thanks, guys, you morons.
So that was basically like a tribute medley of the Beatles to Gags.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gags, you did it. You deserve a great band medley by one of the greatest bands of all time.
But do you really want to crown them already? We're only going to week 7.
Well, if anybody has ever set themselves up for getting crowned before the season's over, it's been Gags right now.
Why do you say that?
Oh, I don't know, because he's got literally a Pro Bowl roster now. I don't think there's one weak point. Like, when we did trades, when I did a trade, I was like, I even told Brian, I said, I'm not going to sweat it. I'm getting Calvin Johnson, Jordan Nelson, but he's got Cam Newton. He'll never win the league.
Right.
And then I looked one day and, oh my God, sure, now he's got, Eddie Lacy,
Yep.
Alshon Jeffrey,
Yep.
and then the crowning one was Aaron Rodgers. And I don't even remember who you guys gave, but it was crap.
We'll get to that later.
Absolute crap.
But I couldn't believe it. I thought, the trade that Gags and I did kind of took him down a few pegs. No Phillip Rivers. How's he going to get by to the end of the season with Cam Newton? And like you said, he must. I don't know if he had it planned, but he worked his way into that one. It's.
Yes, he did. Josh, you are officially a taint waffle. That's how mad I am at you.
We all are. Gags was so excited that Jay told me he called him and said, I basically have 7 first-round picks on my roster.
Really?
Yeah,
it's true.
Pretty accurate.
Todd Gurley, oh my gosh.
ODB would have been a first-rounder.
It's disgusting.
Alshon Jeffrey could have been a first-rounder. And then all the guys you just named.
Yeah, Dez Bryant, first-rounder, 4th pick overall.
Eddie Lacy, third pick overall, I think. Aaron Rodgers, 7th pick overall.
I know Craig said he'd leave it up to us to talk about it, but I can only imagine what was being said in the kitchen of love. I'm sure there was no love being thrown around there. Jess is like, I don't even care. I'm 1-6 or 1-5 or whatever. It's done. I'm done.
It's over.
Yeah, but Craig's like, how am I going to be a wizard when you've got all the spells?
Yeah, the only way this could get worse is if Jay accidentally dropped Adrian Peterson and then Gags picked him up. That's the only way it could get worse because he can't do any more trades, which is good, but...
This is why I didn't want to have 6 trades. This is why 3 trades were good. No, we got to have 6 trades. We got to encourage trades.
I love it.
I hate it.
I love it. I don't like that Gags' team is now a juggernaut, but I do love that we have that flexibility, and he took full advantage of it. And Josh.
Yes, and Josh. And we got to look. We will analyze these later on just to see.
We'll get to it.
Unfinished business.
All right, Detling. Well, this is kind of some strange unfinished business. It's not really against anyone, but I want to just point out that you threw me for a loop the other night.
Did I get you to be superstitious?
I was very superstitious. The writing was on the wall. But I was sitting at the Stevie Wonder concert with my mom, and we were getting ready
Your mom?
Yeah, it was great. You wouldn't go.
I had to work, right? I don't remember.
I think you worked late. Monday,
okay.
Anyway, long story short, I'll give you the details later, but we were seated up in peanut heaven, and then some weird things happened, and we got seats down front, 8 rows back.
What?
From the stage, just off to the center. It was absolutely incredible. He put on an unbelievable show.
How the hell did you get that?
All right, well, basically we're sitting there, and it's going to sound weird, but there was an older gentleman who had Parkinson's, and he fell on top of us because he lost his balance.
Oh my gosh.
And I was a little concerned, so I told my mom, let's go get checked out. Went to the paramedics. Everything was fine. She just kind of overextended her neck, and it was just sore, so they gave her an ice pack, and then on our way back to the seats, one of the managers from the console said, hey, we don't want you to be nervous the whole show about people falling on you, so would you accept these complimentary tickets? And we're like, sure, where are they? And they're like, on the floor. And we're like, yeah. So we made our way down, and just as Stevie Wonder started playing the first song, I get the text from you, and it said something to the effect of, check your email right now, we are blowing up, we are going to be Kathy Lee, what is it?
Regis Philbin and Kathy Lee Gifford, famous.
Famous, and I'm like, what is that? And I was like, I can't check this now. But long story short, if anybody ever has a chance to see Stevie Wonder, absolutely amazing musician. He's a musical genius, literally, and like he's a pure showman. He played for 3.5 hours.
Wow.
He didn't end the show until 10 till midnight, and he completely lost track of time, but he still gave us an encore. It was incredible. And
how many songs did you recognize that he played?
Oh, almost all of them, because he played the entire album from Songs in the Key of Life. So I was doing my research, and so he played all that, and then he did just like all the hits, like a medley. So it was unbelievable. He did like an 8-minute version of Star Spangled Banner on the harmonica,
Really?
by himself, and yeah, blew everyone away. Just musical genius, and just it was hilarious. But anyway, I get out, I'm looking at my emails, and I'm like, what is happening? And I read through the emails, and I'm still a little bit confused. There's something called Side Prize, like a website.
Side Prize. And it's not just the girl on the side.
Ah,
It's called
okay.
Side Prize.
And and Jay said it's something like FanDuel or,
I don't know if it's
DraftKings or
fan-
something. It's something like that.
Well, like I understood it was something that put your league in it, and instead of like you having to worry about getting the money from the commissioner, you get the money through the Side Prize website. I don't know, but it's like that way of a trend. I almost likened it to a company that processes your credit card but charges a fee,
Okay.
and that's how they make their money.
Yeah.
That's what I thought it was. I don't know, but I mean, who is the one, Jimmy Crick the one that did it?
I think so.
So he'd have to explain it to us because I wasn't
what I
quite
don't
sure.
understand. Like, how were we quote unquote discovered?
Right. Yeah. Well, he wrote the story, but what I didn't get was they kept talking to us and they were like, okay, here's like Tonto S $20 working into the podcast or something. So I don't know if it was
Oh, I missed that one.
or working into the league somehow. So we got $20 from Side Prize. Everybody listen to it. Go to the website. So actually, I think we officially have a sponsor.
Wow, this is crazy.
Yeah, and
didn't
I don't
think
think
about
we're going to
that.
see any of the $20. I think Jimmy Crick's going to keep it himself.
Crystal is standing right behind us.
Why?
She is our sponsor.
Oh. She's also a great cook. She's making my dinner right now as well.
Awkward.
Awkward is right. I wasn't considering this. Wait, this is why you're Kathy Lee Gifford. You're supposed to be better than this, Brian.
I didn't know in your head you were Regis.
I am Regis.
So you freak out a lot and get really loud.
Of course.
So yeah, we each have $20 to use on this site. Is that what you're saying?
No, I think we only have $20.
$20 collectively?
Collectively, yes.
So that means we have like less than $2 each?
Well, Brian, I mean, we weren't discovered. I mean, everybody started small.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure Jose Canseco played in a beer softball league before he was discovered for the majors. So he was playing for peanut change, and that's where he does now.
Exactly. He went right back where he started.
Yeah, so, when we're big and we're hanging out with Matt Berry, and then all of a sudden we get our legs cut down, and we're back down here in your kitchen,
It would still be fun to make that climb,
that'd be a hell of a climb.
Yeah.
Be a nasty fall, though. I'd be clawing every way, which I'm not going back.
I'm taking you
My suits, I want to be on ESPN.
I was told I'd be on SportsCenter.
Yes, I was born to do this. But it was fun to hear the stories that people were bringing up, things that I totally forgot about.
Yeah, and I think we should keep it going because if nothing else comes out of this, it's kind of nice to create like a little history that's living online, so when we're old and senile, we'll be like, oh, I kind of remember that.
Yeah, but we better create a different CC so that guy, the Josh and whatever, or not whoever the authors are, the writers of the
Yeah.
story, so they don't keep getting our stories. Because there could be the time where Bean and I were having rap wars, and then we had a choice where I was calling out his wife, and then he tried to call out my mom, and then I said, if you go anywhere near my mom, go after your kids. And then it got pretty vicious in the beginning there before we settled.
That's really funny. So, anyways, do you know whether or not it's been published or whatever, the story?
No, I do not know. I figured Jimmy or that guy would write us.
Yeah. So, Jimmy, if you're listening, like, let the league know whenever it's published so we can all read it and check it out.
Yeah. Also, tell us how you even learned about Side Prize.
Yeah, like at least post it on the webpage, on the site, or or call in. One of the two.
Yeah. Explain what it is. Because we're confused.
Always. All right, since we're on the topic of unfinished business, I listened to the entire video cast by Mr. Kubisik, and towards the end of the video cast, he said that, good luck to everyone. I hope nobody gets hurt, and that we're all doing this in the spirit of good fun. I want to make sure everyone, has a solid team, a solid lineup, so it's fair. But if you listen to the very beginning of the video cast, he was so furious that Devontae Freeman has gone 4 weeks in a row and setting all kind of records that he called him out and he said, I want him hurt, in so many words. He's like, I don't care if it's an ACL, an MCL, a hammy. He wants that man hurt. So what is it?
He was furious because he wanted it for his own gain.
That's right.
Julio Jones isn't performing because Devontae Freeman is the shit.
Yeah. So what is it, Craig? Do you want people to get hurt or not get hurt? I think you just put a call out, for Devontae Freeman to get hurt. So you know what? If he does get hurt, you're going to have the worst curse ever. Live with that.
As long as Craig wins a championship, he'll live with anything.
That's true. He has no regrets. But I think that's dangerous to be putting a hit out on Devontae Freeman, the hottest running back in the game right now. Good luck, man. You made your bed. All right, Deadling, do you have any unfinished business?
Sure do, Brian. The only order of unfinished business is actually it's finished business. Congratulations on your win against me.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I mean, there's probably nothing I could do when Phillip Rivers has the best career day of his life. So with that finished business, I bring more unfinished business, which is, hey, Brian, did you know that we're playing each other this week?
Oh, I did actually.
Yeah, in our other league, I dare you to not play one of your running backs against me. And keep in mind that I'm in first place and you're in second.
I know that. I will consider it.
So you heard it here, folks. Brian said he's going to do it. If he doesn't do it, call him out on it. I'll let you know.
No one's going to care because no one's in that league.
I'll take screenshots of it. I'll send it to you. Also, let it be known that the first 2 years I said I would not start at running back. Our running back's debatable upon who you talk to. I would have won both times. But the 1 year that I do not start a running back, I lose. I get crushed.
Crushed. I love that word.
Yeah, I know you all loved it.
So was it that you said 2 running backs? Because that's what Kubisik thinks.
I think after, I said he's one running back or 2. Craig says 2. I think it was 2. But I negotiated with you.
That's true.
So I don't feel bad about starting 1. And technically I started Abdullah, who doesn't really even count as a running back. Because all he does is fumble. And he will be starting in my lineup this week.
Can't wait to see that. But no, you are a man of your word, kind of, I guess. We negotiated. I put it to bed. It's never going to be brought up by me again. And probably not by you since you lost.
True.
So we can just turn the page on this whole scenario, which I'm so glad that I pulled out the win because I would have never heard the end of it.
Nice little Bob Seger tribute.
Which one was that?
Turn the page.
Oh, nice. I didn't even know I said it. Let's see, anything else? Oh, yeah, I do have one other thing, small piece from Craig's video cast since I watched it all. I happened to notice that he had this tone of, being superior to Kevin Bean and talking about, not really thinking through his lineup and trying to give him advice about starting your studs and the guys you start the year with. Kevin's Bean he's already down and, Craig's just kicking him and kicking him and he's barely even breathing and he's just kicking him right in the teeth.
Craig's
gotta hurt.
bad, much like he tries to kick you down all the time.
Oh, I know. He couldn't keep his mouth closed with the whole email chain. Who's the worst? Oh, that's definitely Brian.
Yeah, oh yeah, he definitely was kind of rude.
Whatever, Craig. I have a championship.
True,
I've made it to 2 championships.
true.
50%.
I made it to 4 championships and won 50%.
Also 50%.
Yeah, I also did say about that when I argued about who was the biggest winner, and people were like, "Oh, Craig." I was like, "Well, if you're gonna do by wins, but I've been to more championship games than anybody, so I think I'm the biggest winner."
3 is better than 2.
But 4 games is better.
Winning
than 3.
winning percentages is higher.
Yeah, but championship game percentage mine is higher.
Well, Bean thinks you won 3 anyway, so.
You guys think I'm the one that drinks the most? I mean, I'm sure you will notice that I did not immediately retract that statement. I was like, "Yeah, I'll let him say that. Sure, say Detling won 3, and once it's in print, it means it actually happened."
All right, well, moving right along. I took the liberty, I know Kevin Bean will appreciate this, of writing a 1-act play. I was inspired by Craig Kubicek's videocast, and if for anybody who watched it, you might appreciate it. And it's going to be our first installment of Demisey Theater. So, without further ado.
Welcome to the Mazi Theater.
And for this play, I will be playing the role of the father, Craig Kubicek.
And I will be playing the role of the son, Kevin Bean.
And now we bring you Beware of the Mariota. Hey, Kevin, do you have a minute?
Sure, Dad. What's up?
I don't know, is there anything you want to tell me?
No. Why?
You know, you can talk to me about anything, right?
Sure.
Well, I'm only bringing this up because I care about you, son. But when I was putting your socks away, I found a bottle of Mariota.
That's not my Mariota.
Well, how did it get in your drawer then, son?
All right. It's mine. I got it from my friend Jimmy.
Well, did you try it?
Only once, but I didn't even like it.
Tell me. How did it make you feel?
Like I was on top of the world at first, then I felt sick to my stomach the next day.
Son, we've all done some experimenting in our day. When I was your age, I once experimented with Jermichael Finley, and I still regret it to this day. Anyway, I'm not mad at you, Kevin. I'm just disappointed. I thought I raised you right.
I know. I'm sorry. I should have listened to you.
And what do I always say?
That we are a Stafford family, and that Staffords are what will get us ahead in life. But Staffords are boring, and my friends think it's lame.
Well, if your cool friend Jimmy starts using Cutler, would you start using Cutler too?
Of course not. That's insane.
Is it? What's next? Am I going to find you standing down by the library smoking a LeGarrette? Or worse yet, down in the subway giving hand jobs to strangers just to score some Manziel?
No, Dad, you won't. It was just a one-time thing.
I wish I could believe you. But I always see you hanging out with that troublemaker Hankerson instead of that nice boy John Brown down the street.
No, now you're going to tell me who my friends are? Dads just don't understand. Whatever. I'm out of here.
Oh, wait, son. I just want to talk. I want you to use that brain that's in your head and think before you make a decision. I care about you, Kevin. If you need someone to talk to, I'm here for you. But if it happens again, I'm going to have to send you to Cleveland.
What? Just got back from there last year.
Trust me, Kevin. This hurts me more than it hurts you. It's up to you now.
Okay, Dad. I'm going to do my best from now on. You'll see.
I know you will, son. Now get back out there and see if Brandon Cooks is home to play with.
That kid, he sucks balls.
Kevin, that's it. Get in the car. We're going to Cleveland right now.
Okay, I'm going.
And scene.
Gags time. He's done trading guys. Excellent. Finally.
All right, I don't even know where to begin. I guess go chronologically from the first Gags trade to the last Gags trade.
Yes.
All right, give us the first one.
The first trade was none other than the one I did, where I traded Des Bryant for Calvin Johnson and Jordy Nelson.
All right, so speak to that. Tell us a little about what's going through your head.
Well, I was like, all right. First I was like, he wants Des Bryant? No way. Screw that guy. But then I was like, Calvin Johnson? Yeah, so he's playing with my mind. Knows I like Calvin Johnson, big time wide receiver. Picked him. I believe I picked him 4th last year overall as well. So he knows that I have faith in him. I was kind of pissed that I didn't get him last year, or they didn't do that well for me last year. So if it was just Des, then he throws in Jordy Nelson, and he messages me, "Hey, Dad, here's a trade I sent your way. You might like it, you might not, but I think it's a good one. So tell me what you want, or if you like it." And I said, "All right." And I said, "Hey, I didn't talk to him right away. I went to Burger King. I got a Whopper." And I said, "Give me some time. I got to eat my Whoppers. This is my trade tradition." And so I went home, sat there, and I ate my Whopper. And I was mad that I didn't get the black bun Whopper from Halloween, whatever, at the Smokehouse A1.
That's weird.
Is it weird? You've had it?
No, it's weird.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, they didn't have it either, so I had to have a regular Whopper. So I ate, I deliberated, and then I said, well, Calvin Johnson, Des Bryant are pretty much the same a little bit. I mean, you might have a better chance with Des Bryant, maybe like a tick. But then I said, and I looked at my roster, as far as keepers go, I have Roethlisberger, and I don't have anything else worth keeping. So I said, okay, I'll take it. So Jordy Nelson is now there, so that'll be my next year's draft, which he also made a point of saying that'll help you out. And I didn't even think, I was like, why wouldn't he want Jordy Nelson? And I know because he lucked out and got Todd Gurley in the 5th round. So it's Beckham and Gurley next year. I don't know how this guy keeps on freaking doing it. But yeah, so I accepted the trade because I looked at the playoff matchups and I was like, well, Des Bryant's going to be playing against the Jets in I think week 15, and I don't want him when I have to in the playoffs if he's going to play against Revis Island. And he had like a couple other matches. And Calvin Johnson played against New Orleans and somebody else that could be it's like going to be like a pass happy thing where what's the name? Stafford's going to have to chuck the ball all the time. So that was my reasoning. I thought it was a good trade. I mean, it wasn't outlandish, it wasn't crazy.
No. I mean, he gave up more than you did by far, and he's basically going for like right now. He's given up a lot. Doesn't care about Jordy Nelson, but at the same time, he doesn't get Des Bryant till what week? Maybe 9.
Well, they were talking about this week, but he's not going to now. But yeah, 8th, 9th, because they're trying to like accelerate his healing. And I personally think that's going to be bad for him. So I think I think he's going to hurt himself in like the week 14, 15, 16.
It could.
And I have Des Bryant in our dynasty league as well. So I said if he's ever going to do anything, I'll still be able to enjoy him. And I talked to Bigler. I go, Bigler, I got this trade going on. And he said, and I told him what the stakes were, and he says, "Why are you wasting time talking to me?" He said, "You
know what to do."
Yeah, you should have accepted it 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, before he pulls it off the table.
Yeah. And I said, "All right, I'm pulling the trigger."
And it's worked out for you well. Calvin Johnson's blowing up. At least last week got you 30-some points.
Mm-hmm.
So
didn't help me win, but still.
I mean, Gags. So far, the trades that he's made with me and you are not really working out in his favor, and you figure like he might be going to a slump until the next trade.
The next trade.
Which, to Gag's credit, if you will, like, he's messaged me on Facebook, said, this is what was offered to me, I accepted. So, what was it?
Oh, really? It was offered to him?
That's what he told me.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think there was any negotiation.
Jesus.
Which makes it crazier.
All right, so then Josh, Twerk Kabisic, offered Aaron Rodgers, Jonathan Stewart, and Andre Johnson for Jay Cutler.
Jay Cutler.
The Jay Cutler.
Yeah.
And Emmanuel Sanders. What?
I know.
And Gag said, yeah.
Yeah. I doubt he probably freaked out a little bit. Like, is this real? Is there a gag? Is this?
Yeah. Is
there a gag on Gags?
No, I mean, the gag, it's real. It's real. I don't know what he's thinking.
Emmanuel Sanders, who got hurt at the end of the game.
Did he?
Yeah, he'll be okay, I think. But he got a little bit hurt, got a little banged up. And Jay Cutler, who, like Craig Biscuit pointed out, at any point in time, he could put up 15 points, period.
Yes, he could be a real douche.
Yeah.
And so you're going to give Aaron Rodgers, arguably the number one quarterback in the fantasy football game.
He's been, like, putting up, like, 40-point numbers, which, it happens, but that's the floor. The ceiling is, like, 60, 70.
Right.
And Giving that up is nuts. It's almost as crazy as giving up Phillip Rivers. But I think Jimmy Crick pointed out, like, how did you turn Phillip Rivers into Aaron Rodgers? Like,
Yeah.
that's
yeah.
insane.
I mean, is it a genie in a bottle?
I don't know.
I don't know either. And Josh was like, well, at least now I can decide to start between my two quarterbacks. You never should have had to decide between starting your two quarterbacks. You draft Aaron Rodgers. You play Aaron Rodgers.
Just ask Craig Kubisik.
Yes. You live and die with that man.
And who was his other quarterback? Blake
I
Bortles.
believe it's Blake Bortles.
He's been putting up numbers, but he's a great backup, but you play Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
That's why you draft him, so you don't ever have to think about it unless he gets hurt.
Exactly. So, if we could, we'd veto this trade. I would stomp on it. I would poop on it.
Yeah.
Whatever I could. I'd poop on it, put it in a bag, and set it on fire on Adam Sandler's doorstep.
For me to poop on.
So I guess should we go to the next trade?
I guess. I mean, we could talk about that, how ridiculous that trade is all night, but we have to move on.
Right. Okay. All right. So the next one was this one.
Again with Gags.
Did Gags offer it?
I don't know either way on this one.
Okay. Well, Mighty Midgets, Jim Crick, traded away Alshon Jeffrey, who just had a monster game versus Detroit, first game back, and Eddie Lacy, who, give him credit, hasn't done much because he's had an ankle problem,
Yeah.
to the Rook, who gave away DeMarco Murray
It's coming on a little bit.
and Jonathan Stewart. So,
What do you think about this one? I mean, obviously, Crick gave up big names, and Rook kind of did with DeMarco Murray, but Jonathan Stewart's, like, mediocre.
yeah, I hate it. I hate this trade. Alshon Jeffrey, Jay Cutler throws the ball to Alshon Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Like, that's the guy. He's like the Brandon Marshall, same thing. He's the big guy. And Eddie Lacy,
We know what happens with Eddie Lacy.
yeah, it's like after week 8, he starts coming on hard and
Yeah.
just like destroys people and gets
Yeah.
touchdowns left and right.
That's
So,
their plan from day one.
yeah, like they don't play him too often.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I hope Eddie Lacy goes down. I mean, I traded for him in another league. I gave up a 3rd-round pick. And if he goes down, that's fine because I have James Starks.
He will be putting up 30-point performances starting like week 9. That's my prediction.
Yeah, yeah. So here's what I say about these trades. There's an old saying that says, "You are what you eat, Brian."
Uh-huh.
And I don't recall Gags eating a fucking legend. 'Cause that's what Gags is right now.
Wow, you're calling these 3 trades and his trade performances legendary?
Well, if you look at his lineup, yeah, his lineup is a virtual Pro Bowl of fantasy football.
All right, let's take a quick look at it while we're here. This
Yeah,
is,
let's do it.
I mean, this is Gags time after all.
It's Gags time.
So, all right, he's got Cam Newton starting, but that's only because Aaron Rodgers is
Yeah.
on the bye.
So let's do the prototypical lineup.
All right, we got
QB, Aaron Rodgers,
wide receiver 1,
Odell Beckham Jr.,
wide receiver 2,
Alshon Jeffrey,
wide receiver 3.
Des Bryant,
Wow. Okay, running back 1,
LaShawn McCoy,
running back 2,
Todd Gurley,
tight end,
Kelch, or whatever his name is, and
flex,
Eddie Lacy,
defense,
New England. It doesn't matter.
yeah, kicker.
Lambeau.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. The rest of the lineup is disgusting. Like, there's not one leak. There's nothing. There's no weak link in the chain.
Right, and I mean, Kelsey's going to be leaned on even heavier now that,
Yeah.
Charles is out. It's like he's probably like the number 2 option. McCoy's coming around, starting to play.
Yes. Gurley's a beast.
Yeah, he's scary.
Nothing girly about Gurley.
No.
Gosh, I mean,
We're talking about his team like everyone dreams about on
the
right
playoff roster.
Yeah. Well, everyone thinks their roster is awesome right after the draft.
Yeah.
Until the games start. But his is that times 10.
Yes.
Maybe times
Yeah,
like that.
I
Maybe times
agree. It's
100.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I speak for the both of us, Brian, when as we stand up,
Yeah.
slow clap.
We are not
Bravo.
worthy.
Bravo. We're not worthy. We are not worthy of your trading skills, Gags.
Craig has a thing to learn from
Yes.
you, my friend.
Yes. And gosh, if I just knew that people would trade like this, I would offer things left and right.
Yep. And I mean, I think it's safe to say that we have roster envy.
Oh yeah, I've definitely got roster
Yeah.
envy.
Yeah. I mean, I feel
swing.
I'm a little bit insecure when I look at my roster.
It's true. I mean, I feel like Gags brought Sofia Vergara to just like a local house party, and I don't know. I can't even think of somebody. Rory from Gilmore Girls, and I'm like, come on, who does that? Who brings Sofia Vergara to a house party in Pittsburgh?
Yep. I mean, it's like he pulls up next to you at a stoplight in like a Ferrari, and like you're pulling up in what?
A 1972 Pinto without hubcaps.
Exactly. I mean, we could go on and on. And
Yes.
Gags, I'm sure you're loving every single second of this. And I hope you don't run this whole team to a championship, but it doesn't look good for the rest of us.
Yes, and Gags, I hope next year you choke on Craig's meatballs.
I mean, prior to this week, I think we could safely say that, at least I thought, Vanilla Jeff had the best lineup.
I think I could agree with you there.
Yeah, but now I think it's Gags
Yeah.
by a mile.
You guys, we all better start trading because we gotta fix it.
And he did this in less than 7 days.
He did. I don't think I'll ever trade with you again, Gags. You might be. You have like no trade. There's no trade clause from now on. Like I pretty much have this with the whole league.
I think we're done.
Yeah. Gags time out.
I'm sick.
This week's matchups.
Week 7.
Week 7. All right, the first matchup we're going to go over is none other than Brian, the Detonators, versus Raritan Pups. Jimmy Garofalo, Huber. Phil Rivers versus Luck, even. Clearly, you've got the better receivers, and he's got the better running backs, and the defense: Pittsburgh versus KC, Philly versus Carolina. I'm going with you, Brian, because I think Philip Rivers is going to have another field day. Although Andrew Luck should be a shootout. I'm going to give it to you because of your receivers: Martavis Bryant, T.Y. Hilton with Andrew Luck. And I think maybe Duke Johnson Jr. is coming on strong. Is going to pull it out for you along with Hauschka and the Steelers D versus KC.
Thank you, sir. Yep, it's me and Jimmy down in the schoolyard here. He's up 13.8 to 5 so far, and I'm sure he's loving that Lynch got into the end zone early. If he's watching, I don't know how interested he is in anymore. But you're not out of it. I'm not out of it. And the loser of this matchup will also not be out of it officially. So one of us is going to be 1-6, which sucks, and somebody's going to be clawing their way back in at 2-5. And what's interesting is that Kubisik in his videocast said that no team has ever gone 0-6 to start the year. Mm-hmm. And if one of us, one of us or both of us had lost, there would have been a really good chance that somebody would have gone 0-7, which is insane. So I'm glad that didn't happen. I'm sure Craig wanted it to happen just so he could see history being made and not at his expense. But looking at this matchup, I do like the Andrew Luck to T.Y. Hilton connection. I know he's going to be praying that Moncrief is catching like the lion's share of all the passes. But if Hilton has a decent game, then that'll offset Luck. I love that I have Rivers on my team. I feel like if I would have had him from week 1 or even week 3, I might have at least another win or two. Mike Evans, I hesitate to start him. I have nothing else. But he's done absolutely nothing. So I'm hoping for a breakout game because he owes me. He owes me big. Lynch scares me because it looks like he's getting back on track. Heron, should I be worried about that?
I didn't even know he still played.
No, me neither. But my running backs are also pretty much, they might as well not be playing. Morris has done nothing this year. Chris Sims is good in the flex, but I can't put him and Duke there. Delaney Walker and Jimmy Graham, I just hope they break even. And, I'm looking for the win, and I think that, again, Martavis Bryant is going to have a big breakout game. Him and Rivers, I'm just hoping to carry me week by week. But good luck to you, Jimmy. May the best man win. We'll see what happens. And the next matchup, we have the Huber Squasher at 4-2 going up against FC Bohoric, 1-5. Trying to, buck that trend of first to worst. And looking at these lineups, Clearly, Bohork has the advantage at quarterback because Delling right now doesn't know who he's starting. He's got Palmer on the bye, or I'm sorry, Dalton on the bye, and going up against Breeze, who's finally turning it on. Keenan Allen, Edelman, that's kind of a wash in my opinion. But is Steve Smith going to come back this week?
He was back last week.
Oh, did he play? I didn't even
Yeah,
notice.
if I would have played him, would have helped.
Wouldn't have helped enough. Calvin Johnson, I know Delling's hoping he's going to really come on strong the rest of this year. I'm going to give the edge, a very, very slight edge to Detling because of Calvin Johnson with the receivers. Running backs, it's pretty even. Well, obviously Bell gives you the advantage, but he's still got Blunt, and he's been running pretty well. Spiller, hate to even have him on your team. He's gonna put a kicker in there. You picked up Boswell. Defenses could be a wash, but Bortles has been playing pretty well. I give you the advantage there. So I'm pretty much giving you the advantage in almost every category except for tight end and quarterback. So if I really had to go out on a limb and pick a team, which I do, I'm going to give this one to you because right now you're only down by about 25 points. And I'm thinking that if you put a quarterback in, it's probably going to get you like 35. He's got to put a kicker in there. And I think that Le'Veon Bell is going to have a much better week, especially now that Vic's out of there. So, I'm going to give you the advantage, a slight advantage, but not by much.
Oh, thank you very much, Brian. Let me first start off by saying that if you look at my bench, it is a NSYNC song.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's bye, bye, bye. Almost everybody on my roster is on bye that's on my bench, so I really can't maneuver very well.
This is the week that you don't expect to win, but you hope to.
Right, yes. I actually don't ever really look at my buys, but it kind of played out well because my entire roster of bench people are on buys, which helps. Now, I don't have a quarterback yet. I don't know who I'm picking. I would say it, but then somebody else would go get it and waste a pick just to spite me. Drew Brees obviously right now has a huge advantage over a guy that's not even going to play, and my receivers are clearly better than Justin's. Unless Keenan Allen has one of his incredible shows. Mm-hmm. And Abdullah is maybe one day he'll come back to the old one game to himself.
That first game.
Yeah. And Randall, this whole bullshit that they're doing with the Christine Michael guy. Oh, we need another running back. It's not your running back. It's the fact that you don't have Tony Romo or Dez Bryant. And they're stacking the box 8 to 9 people. But Randall's still getting like 60, 70 yards. Imagine what he could do with an open offense. So don't give me that crap about putting Michael in. And now you're going to take my running back as a starter away from me? Oh, yeah, you want to pick them up right away. Sure, whatever. It's a gamble. I hope it fails. And Greg Olson's awesome. Le'Veon Bell is going to beat C.J. Spiller, hopefully. Easily. And I went out and got the Pittsburgh kicker, Boswell. Guy's been monstrous so far. And, Arizona versus Baltimore and Buffalo versus Jacksonville to wash. I'm giving myself the edge slightly. I'm a little biased, but I'm giving it to me.
Do you really think you're going to win?
I do. Yeah, I do.
Okay. I'm curious to see your quarterback, so maybe you'll have that later tonight.
Maybe I'm working on some trades.
Oh.
Hey-o.
Not with Gags.
No, not with Gags. All right, this next matchup, Twerk Kabisic versus Chips, my boy. They're the one and only Blake Bortles starting at quarterback. Looking over it, looks pretty.
I'm glad he doesn't have to decide between him and Aaron Rodgers.
I know, right? Such a difficult decision. Gosh. Clearly with the receivers, it's kind of a wash. I know Larry Fitzgerald's been having a great year, but still I feel like it's a wash. Amari Cooper could come back. Running backs, Jay, all the way. Peterson and Ivory versus Gore and Yeldon. You got to be kidding me.
And Freeman.
Yeah, well, I was going to go to the flex there.
Sorry.
Yeah, so Stephon Diggs had a big game. Josh got him. He threw him into flex, see what happens. I think the one thing that Josh has going is St. Louis D versus Cleveland is going to be, I think, Miami versus Houston. Yeah. But going back to the flex, Jason has Devontae Freeman, and as long as Devontae Freeman is there, I will always pick Jason to win right now because it's just historical what Devontae Freeman is doing right now. There's nothing I can say against it. I can't even hate on him. I'm going with Jason.
Good. I'm glad you didn't also put a hit out on Devontae Freeman like Craig.
Well, that's because I dropped Roddy White.
That's right. I'm thinking about picking him up. Did
Go for
anybody
it.
do it yet?
Nope.
Okay.
Everybody's smart.
Yeah. Wait, what are you trying to say? All right, so we got quarterback position is kind of a wash. I'm surprised he's not playing Sam Bradford, but then again, he is going up against Carolina. That makes sense. Jordan Matthews, I'm going to actually give the edge to Jay a little bit because I feel like there's more potential. Matthews and Cooper have such high potential where Fitzgerald is playing above his head these days. Benjamin really hasn't proven himself. I mean, he's trying to this year, but still not sold. And Garcon, he's still got something in the tank. Not a whole lot, but he's still there. So I give him Jay a slight edge there. Running backs, like you said, Jay all day. Tight ends, probably a slight edge to Jay with Julius Thomas. Josh pulled the chasing the dragon move. He sees Diggs have one big game, and now he thinks he's going to capitalize by putting him in the flex. I got news for you. That rarely works. I'm not going to say never, but it rarely works.
You're trying to say that you've chased the dragon quite a bit?
In my day, yeah.
You're a big Pie Gal player?
Yeah, I've chased some quarterbacks, I've chased some running backs, I've chased some Clinton Portises in my day. I've chased some Jeff Garcia in my day.
Oh, wow. I forgot about that one.
Anyway.
Garcia.
And I've lost. But anyway, like you said, Devontae Freeman is a beast. And maybe 5 weeks in a row he'll score like close to 30 points with 2 or 3 touchdowns.
This guy's averaging 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think like last week he had one called back. So it would have been like another 3.
Yep. And I think the only edge that I'm going to give, maybe 2, I'll give Josh the edge in kicker and defense. Why Jay picked up Miami D, I'll never know. Like, they've done nothing this year. Did they have a good game last week or something?
They did have a good game last week because they switched coaches. Dan Campbell's the interim coach, and I think they had like 5-6 sacks.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, and like they also like hurt Mariota.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they like took a cheap shot at the back of his leg. So he's like a sprained MCL, but I think I'm not sure if he's going to play or not. I don't think he should. But
Yeah. See that, kids? That's why you never get mixed up with Mariota.
that's right. Don't ever have a bottle of Mariota in your drawer. Who knows what can happen?
So yeah, I still think that's a weak call playing Miami D against Houston. I mean, you got Foster going back nearly 100%. DeAndre Hopkins going out of his mind. I wouldn't touch that.
Yeah.
So, but I still think Jay is going to win this, not by a landslide, but by a comfortable margin. I think he's going to win by more than like 2 or 3 points. Because he has a
comfortable margin.
Yeah, for Jay, that's if he wins by more than 2 points, it's really comfortable.
Yeah.
So he's 4-2. I think he deserves it. But he said to me like his Monday nights have been nightmares, just
really?
absolute nightmares. Like he's almost had a heart attack the last 2 weeks. So I'm sure he's hoping that he can just have an easy.
What was that? Why is that? Because of the football or like all the salty food he's eating?
No, it's all football.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like the Bradford come from behind win, and then like Phillip Rivers almost destroying him the week before. So
Oh, with the Melvin Gordon. Yeah, I got you.
his ticker can't take much more. So good luck to you, Jay. Pushing for you, especially if I'm not in it. And Josh, you made the worst trade of the year.
Oh.
Next matchup, we have the Mighty Midgets. Just absolutely destroyed by that narrow margin last week. I know that he had a few words to share. You could tell he was just so fired up. I loved how he was just quoting our rules. It was like a lawyer in there, man.
Yeah, I don't even have a copy of the rules, so I was definitely learning some stuff myself. Especially when Craig was like, "Yeah, Deli copied and pasted these for me," and I was like, that's the only living copy of the rule book there, so I can't remember it.
We've all been there. When you lose by such a small margin, you're looking for anything to like get that win back. And
Yes, you are.
I don't blame you. I might have done the same thing myself. Looking at the quarterback matchups, it's actually pretty close. Tom Brady going against the Jets, and then you got Ryan going against Tennessee. And what's crazy is that Matt Ryan's only projected for 37. That's insane against Tennessee, but That's the Devontae Freeman. You know?
It is the Devontae Freeman effect that he's
Yeah.
going to run all over him.
Yep, and so that very well could happen. So I'm going to give the edge to Vanilla on this one. Receivers, I probably, even though he has DeAndre Hopkins on Vanilla's side, I'm probably going to give the edge to Jimmy with Allen Robinson and Brandon Marshall, because Eric Decker and Tavon Austin just don't really do much for me. Running backs, I'm going to give the edge to the Mighty Midgets with Latavius Murray and two Murrays, nice.
Eminem brothers.
Yeah. Jet's got the CJ boys, the CJ brothers, and he's got Eminem. But yeah, Chris Johnson and Carlos Hyde, I don't think are gonna, hold a candle to the Murray boys. Witten versus Donnell could be a kind of a close one. I'm probably a slight edge to Witten.
And they're playing against each other too.
Oh, that's nice. And then you got Rashard Matthews, Jordan Cameron. Again, that's probably a wash. Kickers don't really care. New York, that's interesting. He's playing the Jets D versus Tom Brady. Something's got to give there. He's probably hoping for maybe some turnovers or low rushing yards. I'm not sure. Washington D against Tampa Bay. That could work out for you. It definitely could. Didn't work for me, but could work out for you. I tried to play my D against Tampa Bay. I got burned. But yeah, looking at everything together, I don't know. I think I'm gonna give it to Vanilla. I didn't think I was. Nah, I take it back.
You're flip flopping.
Yeah, I'm you. I'm playing you. Yep. Tom Brady's like the nicest part of that lineup this week. He's got a lot of guys on bye, so I'm giving this to Jimmy. Jimmy Crick gets a little bit of a redemption. He's gonna go 3-4. How about you?
Oh, well, looking over the lineups, Matt Ryan, Tom Brady. I was looking over his receivers. Marshall and Robinson are great. Willie Snead, guy came out of nowhere. That, I think, is the reason he traded Alshon Jeffrey, because he's like, you know what? Willie Snead is going to get me the whole year through, so I can improve my running back core, the Murray brothers. And I don't know, it's some bullies at a high school, like, you better beware of the Murray brothers. Don't go to geology class. But no, and then you look over to Jeff's place. I mean, all right, DeAndre Hopkins, everybody's like, oh, he's playing out of his mind. But then I just started doing a little thinking while you were going over your evaluation. And you know what? I don't think it's DeAndre Hopkins that's that good. I think it's Brian Hoyer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, who was the guy throwing to Josh Gordon? Brian Hoyer.
That's a good point.
So he locks in on the one receiver.
Wow, that's a really good point.
So it's I don't think so we say like, oh, DeAndre Hopkins is making a bump up to like top 5. No, he's not.
Who was the other quarterback before Hoyer? Mallett? Ryan Mallett?
Oh yeah, for the Texans. Yeah, I thought you meant for the Browns.
No.
Yeah, it was Mallett.
Was he also feeding Hopkins like that?
No, not like that.
Okay.
He wasn't throwing the ball that well.
It's the Hoyer effect.
It is the Hoyer effect, the Bobby Hoyer, or the Brian Hoyer. Brian Hoyer effect. So yeah, but Tavon Austin, I'm gonna poop in this guy's cornflakes all year because he's the reason I lost. I don't think he's got it into for another big week ever. Eric Decker, greatest white receiver ever this year. But looking over his lineup, I don't think obviously you didn't point it out, but he's got Matt Forte and Cobb on bye. So I'm pretty sure Vanilla Jeff expects to lose. And he's also got Mr. Robbie Gould.
Do you think he wakes up and he's like, man, I'm really expecting to lose?
You know what? We don't give him enough credit. I think Vanilla Jeff does think a lot about fantasy football now. I think when he first was in the league, he really didn't care as much.
Yeah.
And I think maybe that for what we've been saying about him for years, that maybe he's decided I'm winning a championship. I'm going to show these guys they suck. And then he made it to a championship. He lost to the Rook.
That's true.
And you know what? I mean, it might happen again.
Yeah.
And the TV ratings would probably be as low as they were for the last championship game. But to shorten it up here, I'm going to go with the Mighty Midgets to beat Vanilla.
Wow.
He's going to pull out that win.
Let's hope.
All right, this next matchup, Springfield Isotopes versus Dub C Hooligans. Looking over the lineups here, clearly it's kind of a funny one. Craig is starting Alex Smith, the very quarterback that Dub C dropped, and Craig thanked him from the bottom of his heart to help out with his bye weeks because who's the quarterback here again? Peyton Manning's on bye, which at the time Craig thought he had a gem, but
4th round gem.
Yeah, as we know, not even close.
He's probably excited that he's on the bye.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, oh, thank God, somebody can actually throw the ball. But no, we got Matt Stafford versus Smith. We got Julio Jones, Antonio Brown, Golden Tate. Ooh, boy. Hearns, Josh Brown, Crabtree. That's kind of questionable.
Questionable? What's questionable about that? Like those three receivers or
Crabtree,
okay.
Hearns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're
Golden
giving the edge to Craig.
For receivers, yeah. Oh, yeah. For running backs, I'm giving it to Bean all the way. Because, I mean, Craig's got Ryan Matthews, Kendrick West. No longer has Andre Williams, who can only get points by falling into the end zone.
I would like to total up. I know Craig's been doing the advanced stats this year. I would love to total up all of Craig's running back points for this year. It's probably like a little bit less than 20.
It's pretty close, yeah, for when he actually started him. And like when he didn't start Ryan Matthews, the guy had more than 20. But Jacob Tamme versus Gronkowski, we know he's going to win that one. And Foster, finally putting him in a flex. Great move. Atlanta D versus Tennessee, but Seattle, as we can see right now, is going off. For the D, but I'm going to pick Bean to beat Craig here, and it's interesting because I was thinking also with Jason how he brought it up that Craig did the all wide receiver experiment while Jason has done the heavy running back experiment, and I believe he's got some good receivers too, but I can't remember who they are. But
Amari Cooper, Jordan Matthews.
Yeah, so he's got mid level.
Yeah.
But to date, Jay is 4-2, and Craig is 3-3. So.
True.
The experiment will go on, and we will see who wins. But for this pick, I'm picking Dub C.
All right. Well, I think it's interesting that Kubisic talked so long about Dub C in his video. I think that he was just trying to get into his head, really like mess with him, and see if he could try to influence his lineup, which he did a little bit. And I don't know if it was intentional or not, but well, he had to play Stafford. He couldn't play a hurt Mariota, and put John Brown in after he blew up against the Steelers. I would have done the same thing. But he's keeping Crabtree in and not putting, Cooks back in the lineup. And Craig he's telling Bean to put Cooks in since that's who he drafts him like third round. You got to play your starters to live and die with them. I mean, that's like the equivalent, which I think that's crazy advice coming from Craig. That's like saying, we just bought this milk at the store. It's rancid, but I bought it, so I'm going to drink it anyway. I don't care what happens.
Compared him to spoiled milk?
Yeah, it's like if your team sucks, and even if it's a big name, you got to start whoever's performing or who you think gives you the best shot. You're not going to. That's why it'll be really interesting to see if he actually puts Peyton Manning back in the starting slot, because I don't know how you can sleep at night starting Peyton Manning.
I don't know how you can sleep at night starting Alex Smith, but you still do it.
Right, but I think if it were me, I'd probably start Alex Smith over Peyton Manning at this point because they're running the ball a lot,
Alex Smith does not throw interceptions.
That's true. I mean, maybe I wouldn't start Alex Smith, but I would start someone over Peyton Manning. There's got to be somebody on the waiver wire I would put in there over Peyton Manning. But we'll see if Craig actually sticks to his guns just because he drafted him 4th round. I think it's insane. So, looking at the lineups real quick, I'm not going to say the same thing that you did, but because I agree with a lot of what you said.
That's rare.
Bean gets the advantage at quarterback. Craig gets the advantage at wide receiver. Bean gets the advantage at running back and tight end and flex. Defense goes to Craig. And the only way Craig wins this, in my opinion, is if Seattle shuts out San Fran, puts up like 40-some points, and then somebody else happens to go off. He's got a better chance with Antonio Brown this week with Landry, I think. Not much more, but he might get back into the 15 to 20 point range. But I'm giving the edge to Dub C. I think he's going to win it. I think Stafford is going to put up some numbers again. Lamar Miller's turning it on. Forsett's been doing well. He's got a lineup that's clicking, and as Craig pointed out, he could easily be 3-3 or 4-2 had he made the right moves. And I'm sure that Bean will kick himself for years to come if he doesn't make playoffs. I know I would. But good luck to both of you. I'm giving the edge to Bean. And the matchup of the week, we have the undefeated Possum Magic. According to Craig, the first team in Tonto's demise history to go 6-0. Going up against second place, the Rook, at 5-1, who just came off a crazy week of trades. However, I don't think any of the trades are helping him this week, if I'm correct. Yeah, Rodgers Jeffrey and Lacey are all on the bye, which I'm sure Gags could care less right now because he's building his team for the playoffs, which he probably only needs 2 more games to win to make those playoffs. So looking at the lineups, I'm going to say that Tannehill and Newton could be a wash, so no advantage to either. Wide receivers, I'm going to give the edge just because of ODB. The other receivers, nothing to really write home about. Macklin, he's been doing all right. Bolden's only got 1.6 so far at halftime. Running back's going to be given the edge. Well, that's kind of a tricky one, to be honest with you. Running backs, I might actually call that a break even. You got Ingram and Martin, because Doug Martin's looking great right now. And McCoy and Gurley, they're both strong running backs as well. Wide receiver, again, that's pretty even. Gates versus Kelsey. Flex, I'm giving the edge to Tree with Dion Lewis. McFadden, I'm not really sure how well he's been doing lately. And then finally, defense, that's tough. That's a really tough one. I'm going to say it's pretty even. So this might be a lot closer than we think. And maybe Gags' edge in receiver could pull it out. I want to point out that, yeah, Tree is 6-0, but as Craig's pointed out many times, the points against him are ridiculously low. And if the teams are averaging about 130, 140 against him, I don't see Gags getting below that. I see him getting at least that 160 he's projected at. And I think the Rook's going to take it. Even though he's got all of his big guns that he just picked up on the bench, it's so scary. It's like he's got a shotgun that's loaded.
Right, yeah.
And it's ready to just go off. So I'm still giving it to the Rook, and Possum Magic doesn't go 7-0.
Picture yourself breaking and entering, doing a little B&E on the side. You go into a house in Sheridan, PA, and a guy's got a sawed-off shotgun. You don't know where the bullets are going to go. You just know that he's got a sawed-off shotgun. You can't get back out that door fast enough. That's what I feel like it's when you're going to play Gags over here. You're just going to be screwed. I mean, the bullets are just going to fly. Like Aaron Rodgers, Beckham, Bryant, hey, Lacey. I don't even know what to say anymore. It's all over the place.
And that's not even this week.
Yeah, like, it's going to be the rest of your life here in this year. I get 1 foot in the door and I'm running out. I don't want to play anymore. It's scary. Gosh, I'm all worked up. So, and now saying that, look at the matchup.
Yeah.
You gave him the slight edge in receivers. Well, that's just sad. It really. looking at both, I mean, it's still pretty sad.
Oh yeah. Who do you give the edge to?
I'm gonna give it to Tree Size slightly.
Okay.
That's if Anquan Bolden comes back and has a garbage time second half,
which could very well.
Yeah, it could. Kendall Wright, I'm a little apprehensive about because Mariota's not going to start, and I don't think Zach Mettenberger throws to him that much, actually. Terrence Williams hasn't done much as a quarterback or as a receiver, but Castle's the quarterback now.
And didn't Macklin get hurt last week?
Yeah, he had a concussion, I believe. So I don't even know if he passed the protocol.
We're not sure if he's even going to play.
Yeah, Teddy Ginn Jr. he catches a touchdown. That's what he's good for. That's about it. But he does have Beckham. I'm still going to go with Tree Size as a collective. The running backs are pretty much a wash. Either all of these 4 here that are clumped together could go off.
Yeah.
And they all have pretty good matchups. Tight end's pretty much a wash too. Well, actually, I'll give the slight edge to Antonio Gates simply because it's versus Oakland.
That's true.
And they're terrible.
And yep.
In the flex, though, I actually, you know what? I think quick decision making. I'm going to give it to Tree Size because of Dion Lewis.
Yeah, I agree.
He's there. He's his X factor. I think everybody else is pretty much even. It's like a flip of a coin.
Could be a really good matchup.
It could be, yeah. And like you said, Rodgers and all these guys are on bye, but Tree Size, AJ Green, is on bye as well.
You know he's thinking about it when he's hearing, oh, it's all Gags. I got AJ Green on the bench.
Exactly. And Sammy Watkins is hurt too.
Yeah.
So he does have some weapons. We missed this. Denver is on bye.
Yeah.
The defense, and that has been tremendous for Tree Size.
Yep.
That's what has helped him out. That would be phenomenal. I'm going to give it to Tree Size. I think he's going to go 7-0.
Wow. All right. Well, time will tell. Tree Size's got a hill to climb because Anquan Boldin has still got 1.6. We're in the third quarter, so I don't know. I don't really have anything else to say about this week. It's been a crazy week.
Yes, it has.
Absolutely crazy. I'm gonna have to go see if we can get my share of that $20.
Yeah, I'm gonna need the what is it, almost $2, something like that. I'm sure somebody calculate the average payout out of 12 into 20.
I'm guessing it's like $1.70.
Yeah,
something like that.
I guess I wish the Abruzzi was open because I'd still open because I'd go get my dollar beer and cry into it.
Any final thoughts on the week? Other than crucifying Josh for that horrible trade.
And giving props to Gags.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna tell like a little story about my life, but we don't have time for that.
About my life.
So,
it could go so many directions.
It could, but we're not gonna. It's just gonna add insult.
We'll save it for another week.
Yeah, save it for another week. I know you guys love to hear about my what do you call it? Depressive life.
You know what? I just remembered.
What's that?
We forgot to check the answering machine.
I was going to tell you that as soon as you clicked.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I figured we'd just do it in another segment.
No.
So you got to check the answering machine.
Let's check the answering machine.
All right, let's do it.
Okay. All right, Delling, hit that red blinking light on the answering machine over there.
Okay.
Beep.
This is Kevin Bean, owner and manager of the Dub C Hooligans. And I wanted to call in because I've got some unfinished business. Actually, a handful of things here. One, I just wanted to throw out a big thank you to Jimmy Crick. That's a fun email exchange we had going back and forth, kind of reliving things and walking down memory lane. That's real nice that you took the step to have us be a featured lead there. So that's pretty fantastic, and good on you. I've got some unfinished business with myself. I admittedly, during that chain, recognized myself as the asshole of the league, as being the one that consistently argues about one thing or another. So I will try to be better about that. But I would like to point out in my defense, except for a few years back, when I was arguing about some rule change that was happening mid-season was going to cost me a win. I don't even remember what it was at this point. It was probably 4 years ago. Usually all of the arguments that I throw out there or bitch about are ways that I feel would make the league more fun. So I don't bitch and moan about things like, for me, just ways I would look at, like for instance, when I said we should go from a 20 to a 15, because you look at, our poor commish right now, whose team, all the injuries had and everything, he's pretty much out of it. If you took 5 players off each team and threw them on the waiver wire, you'd never be out of it. Anytime your season did that after like the first couple of weeks, you could start working the waiver wire, you could add some people, and so it would make it, because clearly the commission's not having any fun right now. And if we had that in place, he could have fun for the entire season. So that's the last time I'll argue that. But I just want everybody to know that it's out of a place of love when I put an argument. And my last is with Mr. Craig Kabisic, who brought up a very valid point that I tinker with my lineup too much. So I guess this is a little unfinished business with me. If I would have left Stafford in and left my lineup largely unchanged, I would be 4-2 right now instead of 2-4. So a vastly different season for me. But that being said, I am going to leave my lineup alone, and I am going to crush Craig this year. I am hoping that I will place the nail over his coffin lid, and the next couple of weeks other teams can just hammer that in a little bit each more until it's fully there, and we can ensure that Craig, 2 years in a row, does not make the playoffs. If I can just hope that Roethlisberger does not play this week, I'll be good. So that's what I got. Cheers.
All right, quick reaction. Thanks for calling in again, Bean. You've got your own 3-minute segment every week. Almost forgot about it. Love the ending, especially the part about starting the nail into Craig's coffin. Never give that guy credit, even if he's right. Never give him credit. Don't beat yourself up. Yeah, you made some tinkering moves, but you know what? You're just going with your gut, and I admire that. It didn't work out for you, but don't beat yourself up or give Craig credit. What do you have to say about all that?
It's always entertaining having Kevin Bean call in and talk about his team for a while. I do like the nail in the coffin. That would be fun if Craig did not make the playoffs 2 years in a row. That would be super fun.
It's trending though.
Trending. He's number one trending in Yahoo. Him and Justin Mahoric right now.
Yeah.
But actually, as he was talking, I was thinking, gosh, the thing about Bean is he loves to talk about himself so much. I wonder what it would be like. In my head, I played out a little adventure in my head as he was talking about what it would be like to go shopping at Walmart with Kevin Bean. And if you went to the register and the woman said, "Did you have a good shopping trip?" Kevin Bean would be like, "Well, yes, I did. You see, I thought I was going to go with the pumpkin pie. And then I went to the aisle, and then they have a pumpkin. So then I went for the blueberry pie. Then I realized blueberries cost $6.35 a pound. And I thought to myself, maybe I should talk to the manager of Walmart, get him to shrink the price of blueberries down and make it more fun for all the customers in the store, saying, you'd never know which pie you're going to get. I mean, it'd be more fun. You could get blueberry pie, cherry pie, rhubarb pie, pumpkin pie. What do you think about that, Tracy, who's the cashier, obviously?" And she'd just be like, there's 7 people behind you. I don't have time for this.
So are you Tracy in this scenario?
I am. I was Tracy. So. And Bean's facial expressions were priceless.
That's really funny. That has another like Demisey Theater skit written all over it. But
there's a good chance that Kevin Bean might be the inspiration for every single Demisey Theater episode we have. And I don't think he would have a problem with that.
No, why would
seeing
he?
as he is a theater man himself.
Why would he? And I know I have my own.
Hold on. And also, that is coming out of a place of love too, Kevin Bean.
Good. I like that he doesn't give up fighting for what he believes in. He wants to get those rosters knocked down to 15 instead of 20. While I don't necessarily agree, because I think you can work it with trades, a.k.a. the Rook, a.k.a. the Bull.
The Bull.
I will say that I've been trying to fight for, off-season trades forever. I've been trying to trade draft picks. Nobody's ever listening. So, you know what? You got to keep fighting the fight. Someday people will come around, hopefully, before it's too late. So, Kevin Bean, great call. Thanks for calling again.
You and Kevin Bean you guys are like those 2 Vietnam soldiers in the jungle that still thought the war was going on for 20 years.
It's always going on.
You don't know who it is?
I don't even know who this is.
It's probably Josh.
No running back, no Ronnie Hillman, that 13 boys that you left on your bench last week. No wins for you, no chance to boast. Now I have these 3 words that I must say to you. I just called to say I squashed you. I just called to say how much I crushed. I just called to say I squashed you. And I mean it from the bottom of the standing.
Oh, wow, that's a great call. Was that Stevie Wonder?
I don't even know what to say.
Oh, God, I'm glad I didn't forget to play that.
Wow.
That was my unfinished business with you that I saved till the bitter end.
I mean, you had me. You said, I don't know whose number it is. I don't recognize. I thought it was Josh. I remember Josh is the thing said, I'm going to call it in. I thought he was going to talk about his trade or something. Wow.
That one went out straight to you, obviously.
That was beautiful.
I love it how you kept it together, though.
I it took everything I could not to bust out laughing. I want everybody to hear the song. Stevie Wonder inspired trash talk, people. That was awesome.
All right, well, let's end
And
on
yes,
that note.
yes, you did squash me.
I did squash you. I crushed. Thank you, Stevie.
You rub it in.
You ready, Delling?
I'm always ready. It's fairly now. All right.
Go, 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 go.